Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are also paying our humble Dandavat Pranam to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada for providing us this wonderful commentary and translation of Srimad Bhagavatam. And following the guidance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we are praying to Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has told us that unless we can understand something about Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī through our reading of Bhagavatam, then we have wasted our time if we haven't done that. Yadi sevā-vañcitāḥ syāma, yasyāḥ kṛpayā vayaṃ labhema, sarvaṃ prāpnumaḥ prayojanaṃ, dhāmni śrī-bhagavat pade, Kṛṣṇa-sambandhi sarvaṃ cha, Yadi na jānīmahe tutam, Aṣṭādaśasu sahasreṣu, ślokānāṃ bhāgavat-oktiṣu, Rādhārānīṃ na vindāmaḥ Nishvalam bhagavat-yayinam radhikaya kripam vina vyartasyat sarva-pariśramaḥ. If we are cheated out of serving that personality whose mercy awards us everything we need, including residence in the Lord's holy Dham, and all things connected to Krishna, and if we cannot understand or discover Rādhārānīṃ within the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, then our study of Srimad Bhagavatam has been pointless. Without the mercy of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, all of our efforts are in vain. Today is also the divine appearance day of Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvratagacharya Sri Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, as well as the disappearance of Srila Puruṣottam Thakur. So, Jai Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Jai, Jai Srila Puruṣottam Thakur ki Jai. So we are continuing our reading today from Canto 5, Chapter 16, Text 9. Evam dakshinene lavratam nishado himakuto Himalaya iti prag ayatayata niladayo Yutayo janot sedha harivarsha kim purusha bharatanam yata sankyam. Similarly, south of Ilavrita Varsha and extending from east to west are three great mountains named from north to south, Nishadha, Himakuta, and Himalaya. Each of them is 10,000 yojanas, 80,000 miles high. They mark the boundaries of the three Varshas, named Harivarsha, Kimpurusha Varsha, and Bharata Varsha. Text 10. Tataive lavratam aparena purvena cha malyavad gandham danav anihala nishadyato dvisahasram prapatatu ketumala bhadrasvayo simanam vidhate. In the same way, west and east of Ilavrita Varsha are two great mountains named Malyavan, and Gandhamadana, respectively. These two mountains, which are 2,000 yojanas or 16,000 miles high, extend as far as Nila Mountain in the north and Nishadha in the south. They indicate the borders of Ilavrita Varsha and also the Varshas known as Ketumala and Bharashva. Purport. There are so many mountains even on this planet Earth. We do not think that the measurements of all of them have actually been calculated. While passing over the mountainous region from Mexico to Caracas, we actually saw so many mountains that we doubt whether their height, length, and breadth have been properly measured. Therefore, as indicated in Srimad Bhagavatam by Shukadeva Goswami, we should not try to comprehend the greater mountainous areas of the universe merely by our calculations. Shukadeva Goswami has already stated that such calculations would be very difficult, even if one had a duration of life like that of Brahma. We would simply be satisfied with the statements, or we should simply be satisfied with the statements of the authorities like Shukadeva Goswami, and appreciate how the entire cosmic manifestation has been made possible by the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The measurements given herein, such as 10,000 yojanas or 100,000 yojanas, should be considered correct because they have been given by Shukadeva Goswami. Our experimental knowledge can neither verify nor disprove his statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. We should simply hear these statements from the authorities. If we cannot appreciate the extensive energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if we can appreciate the extensive energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that would benefit us. Text 11. Mandaro meru mandara suparsva kumuda ityayuta yojana vistaronaha meros chatur disham avastamba giraya upatklapta. On the four sides of the great mountain, known as Sumeru, are four mountains, Mandara, Meru Mandara, Suparsva, and Kumuda, which are like its belts. The length and height of these mountains are calculated to be 10,000 yojanas, or 80,000 miles. Chatursveteshu chuta Jambū-kadamba Nyagrodhas chatvara padapa pravara parvata ketava ivhadi sahasra yojano nahastavad vitapa vitataya satayojana parinaha. Standing like flagstaffs on the summits of these four mountains are a mango tree, a rose apple tree, a kadamba tree, and a banyan tree. Those trees are calculated to have a width of 100 yojanas, 800 miles, and a height of 1,100 yojanas, 8,800 miles. Their branches also spread to a radius of 1,100 yojanas. Texts 13 through 14. Hridas chatvara payo madhvikushars rasa mrishta jalayad upasparshina upadeva gana yogaisvayani swabhavikani bharatarshaba tarayanti devo dhyanani cha bhavanti chatvari Nandanam chaitraratam vaibrajakam sarvato badaram iti. O Maharaj Parikshit, best of the Bharata dynasty, Between these 4 mountains are 4 huge lakes. The water of the first tastes just like milk. The water of the second like honey, and that of the third like sugarcane juice. The 4th lake is filled with pure water. The celestial beings, such as the Siddhas, Charanas, and Gandharvas, who are also known as demigods, enjoy the facilities of these 4 lakes. Consequently, they have the natural perfections of mystic yoga, such as the power to become smaller than the smallest or greater than the greatest. There are also 4 celestial gardens named Nandana, Chaitraratha, Vaibrajaka, and Sarvatobhadra. Text 15. Yesvamara parivrita sahasura lalana lalhama yuta pataya upadeva ganar upagi yamana mahimana kila viharanti. The best of the demigods, along with their wives, who are like ornaments of heavenly beauty, meet together and enjoy within those gardens, while their glories are sung by lesser demigods known as Gandharvas. Text 16. Mandarot Sangha Ekadasa Sata Yojanutunga Devachuta Sirasu Girishi Karastulani Falanyamrita Kalpani Patanti. On the lower slopes of Mandara mountain is a mango tree named Devachuta. It is 1,100 yojanas high. Mangoes as big as mountain peaks and as sweet as nectar fall from the top of this tree for the enjoyment of the denizens of heaven. Purport. In the Vayu Purana there is also a reference to this tree by great learned sages. Aratninam satanyastav eka shastyadi kanicha phala pramanam akyatam rishibis tattva darshibi. Text 17. Tesham vishir yamananam ati madura surabi sugandhi bahularuna rasodenar nodanama nadi mandaragiri shikaran nipatanti purvine lavratam upa plavayanti. When all those solid fruits fall from such a height, they break, and the sweet, fragrant juice within them flows out and becomes increasingly more fragrant as it mixes with other scents. That juice cascades from the mountain in waterfalls and becomes a river called Arunodha, which flows pleasantly through the eastern side of Ilavrita. Text 18. Yad upajosanad pavanya anucharinam punya janavadhunam avayava sparshashu gandhavato dasayojanam samantad anuvashayati. The pious wives of the Yakshas act as personal maidservants to assist Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva. Because they drink the water of the river Arunodha, their bodies become fragrant, and as the air carries away that fragrance, it perfumes the entire atmosphere for 80 miles around. Text 19. Evam jambu phalanam atyucha nipata vishirnanam anasti prayanam ibhakaya nibanam rasena jambunama nadi meru mandara sikarad ayuta yojanad avanitale nipatanti dakshine natamanam yavad ilavrutam upasyandayati. Similarly, the fruits of the jambu tree, which are full of pulp and have very small seeds, fall from a great height and break to pieces. Those fruits are the size of elephants, and the juice gliding from them becomes a river named Jambū. This river falls a distance of 10,000 yojanas from the summit of Meru Mandara to the southern side of Ilavrita, and floods the entire land of Ilavrita with juice. Purport. We can only imagine how much juice there might be in a fruit that is the size of an elephant, but has a very tiny seed. Naturally, the juice from the broken jambu fruits forms waterfalls and floods the entire land of Ilavrita. That juice produces an immense quantity of gold, as will be explained in the next verses. Okay. And thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue from texts 20 through 21 on Monday. So, what should we be thinking about all these descriptions, Umadevi, of, right?
Very interesting anthology.
Yes. So these descriptions of the cosmos are being given to us from sages, right? From great sages who have explained in a very enlightening way the science of consciousness, of how to raise our consciousness from the finite and suffering material world to being integrated into the absolute whole, and to being able to participate in that whole, in that divine whole, through a devotional service mentality, and having qualities that help to facilitate that devotional service mentality, like humility and tolerance and giving respect. And the fact that they are seeing the cosmos in this kind of way, we shouldn't take it lightly, for anyone listening to this who might just think it's ridiculous, because I'm sure there are some people who think it's ridiculous, but we shouldn't take that kind of mood. We should understand that the sages who are seeing this in their consciousness, they have taken steps to evolve their consciousness. And the fact that this is how they're describing things, there's something there, there's some value there for us. And we should have a high regard for that kind of description. And we should sit with that humbly. And even if that's not how we are seeing the cosmos, maybe there is some deficiency in our own vision, right? So we appreciate having the opportunity to read these things very much. And even we are remembering one pastime. I believe it is described in the book by Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Subjective Evolution of Consciousness, where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was reaching the end of his pastimes, I believe, on this planet, and he was in some facility, a medical facility, I believe, and one of his own disciples came and started criticizing the Bhagavatam's description of Rahu, right? Because he's saying, what is this? We're not seeing Rahu. We're not seeing something like that. And so Srila Sridhar Maharaj was there when the devotee was criticizing Bhagavatam to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And so Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he couldn't listen to that without giving some defense. So he gave this defense of Rahu, saying that Rahu is the personification of the shadow of the moon, right? That for those sages who are seeing reality in this way, everything, because they know that consciousness is fundamental to everything, consciousness permeates reality. So all natural phenomena, including the moon, has this representation in that fully conscious world where everything is personhood. So not only the moon has personhood as Chandra, Dave, right? But actually the shadow of the moon also has personal representation. And that the shadow of the moon could be called as the personality of Rahu. And then so we were told that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur appreciated that very much. So anyhow, we're remembering that at this moment. And we're praying for their grace to be able to read Srimad Bhagavatam, especially these sections of Bhagavatam, in a way that helps to increase our service to them. And that's all we can say. Right. So Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhavapuri Maharaj Ki Jai.
Yay.
Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yay.
Jai Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Yay.
Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Yay.
Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Yay.
Jai Srila Bhakti Prapanitirtha Maharaj Ki Jai.
Yay.
Jai Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai.
Yay.
Tirobhav Avirbhav Mahamahotsav Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yay.
Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ju Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai, Sham Kun Radha Kun Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Scientific Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Princeton Bhaktivedanta Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari 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 Bol, Jai Śrīmatī Uma Devi Dasi Ki Jai, Hare Krishna.
Sripad Krishna Krishna Prabhuji Ki Jai.
Jai Gurudev. Dhanyavad Devi.